Hi everyone. Okay, so today I'm going to teach you how to paint a seascape, and this one is going to be out of my imagination, as is quite common with all of my paintings. All we're going to need is 2 paintbrushes, a 3/4 inch flat brush and a smaller flat brush for the details, and I'm going to use a mixture of paints. The ones that I'm going to use are Crawford and Black acrylic paints because they're widely accessible in the UK, and that's where I'm based, but you can use any acrylic paints you like to join in with this. Okay, so let's get started. For the sky, I'm going to use some Cerulean Blue. And I'm going to also use some white. And I'm just going to take my flat brush and pick up some white and some blue, and I'm just going to do the top half of the canvas in this to create the sky. And it will be lighter down towards the horizon and then get darker further up the canvas. Most of my seascape inspiration comes from Mallorca, which is where I like to go on my holidays and where I'm hoping to go back later this year. But I'm not using any reference photograph, I'm just remembering being there. So I'm going to get it quite light towards where the horizon's going to be, and then get darker as I go up. You can of course pause this video as much as you like if you're following along. I'd love to see what you do. I'd just like to add in some white every now and then to give the impression of light clouds. I keep going back and forth over it until I'm happy with how it looks, and I've got a nice coverage on there. Okay, I think I'm quite happy with that now. Just do a bit more up there. Okay, I don't tend to worry about the edges because I paint those in black afterwards. Okay, so next I'm going to get a an ultramarine blue, and this is going to be for the sea. I'm not going to rinse my brush, I've just got these colours here, and I'm going to take a bit of the white and a bit of the blue, because near the horizon is going to be lighter. And I'm not worrying too much because in Majorca you've got the lovely mountains that go most of the way across. In Porta Pollenza, where I like to holiday, and it's coming from our imagination, so we can really do whatever we like. But you'll see in a little while why I'm not worried too much about getting a really straight line for the horizon. If you want to have a straight line, then you dry this first, and then you get some masking tape and put it across and then paint. But I'm not going to worry too much about that at this stage. I can get a fairly straight line. So again, just going to go down. And this is going to be a nice calm sea. And I actually quite like to get some of the blue from the sky in there as well. Need a bit more white. So we're just going to go all the way down, add in some of that nice cerulean blue. It takes a little while to get the coverage, but you end up with this really fascinating looking seascape. Okay, right, so I'm fairly happy with that now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pause the video and dry it, and I'll see you again in a minute. Okay, so I've now washed my paintbrush and dried the painting. So the next bit we're going to do is the land. And I'm going to be using Sap Green, light green, Veridian, burnt umber, and ochre yellow. And I'm also going to use some tape. So for this I've decided that I'd like to have mountains or hills going in the distance on the horizon, and then I'm also going to have some land and beach as well down in the foreground, and then a palm tree, and then finally I'm going to have some boats in the harbour. So what I'm going to do is get my flat brush again, and I'm going to get the Sap Green, and I'm going to start filling in up here. And I'm just dabbing the paint onto the canvas. And same the other side. And I'm just going to leave a bit of a gap in the middle. Now I'm going to fill in the sides. Going to have a bit of a grassy area here. So I'll fill all of this in. Okay, so now I'm going to add some lighter bits to give a bit of depth. So I'm just adding in a bit of the light green, and a bit of the Veridian as well. Which just sort of gives it a nice bit of texture and a bit of contrast. Okay, so now I'm going to use a different brush. And I'm going to start filling in some sand for a beach, and I'm going to do it over here. This might take a couple of coats. I'll just fill it in with a bit of white first, which is a clever little trick if you've got some darker colours that you want to paint over with lighter colours. If you go over it with sort of white first, so if you just go in like that. I'm just going to pause the video while I go and wash my brush, and then I'll show you how to do the sand and the other details. Okay, so I'm now going to fill in the sand. I'm just going to grab a bit of white. like I say, this might take a couple of coats, so I might pause the video in a minute and continue layering it up before we move on to the details. Oops. Okay, so I'm going to pause the video and get this finished and dry, and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so now that we've got our background and foreground mapped out, we're now going to add in some more details. So first of all, I'm going to do a palm tree, and for that I'm just going to grab some of the burnt umber, and I'm just going to press my brush flat and keep going up like that. And just keep going up. Until I'm happy with the height. I think that will do. Just add a bit more down there. Then I'll just grab another brush so that I don't have to go and wash this one yet. I'm going to take some of the Sap Green and do a nice palm tree. And then once this is dried, I'll do another one over the brown. Just go over those. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix a bit of the white and the brown together. and I'm just going to make a bit of a mound over here. Just to give yet more depth. Okay, finally I'm going to take my thin brush and I'm going to get some more white, and I'm just going to do a yacht. So I'm going to do it here. To line up. And a smaller sail. There. Once that's all dry, I will just go over the details and add another leaf, palm leaf, and that's about done then. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Let me know in the comments if you try it, and I'd love to see a photograph, and perhaps you could tag me on social media at yours faithfully H Kirk, and see you next time. Bye.